Hello everybody, welcome back to the WTF1 podcast. We are here for the pre-season testing edition 2020. We must apologise for the fact that this has actually been filmed 1 week before it actually goes out. So if any breaking news for coronavirus breaking our F1 calendar
if the
happens,
Australian
then
Grand
I
Prix isn't
apologise.
happening and we're talking about it, we're sorry.
But yeah, we want to talk about testing. So this is why we're here. And firstly, I'm Matt.
I'm Tommy.
I'm Jess.
And we have some breaking news, which we're not going to break to you until the very end of the podcast. So please stay tuned for that. That's all I'm going to say on the matter. Right, let's dive into 3-word testing review. Just one. Reviews from fans. Mats van der Scheer, we know nothing. Spice_Steel. Williams world champs. R_Burkhead24. Ferrari are beep.
Ferrari a beep.
Beeped. F-bomb. C_Kyrienudis, Mercedes dominance again. GRKBVSK, Mercedes already won. And finally, Orino Andrea, skip to 2021.
Quite mixed reviews there, really, aren't there?
A lot of people seem to have got something from testing, Jess, haven't they? You know, they've taken a lot from it. And what's your opinions of that?
Well, the first one is we know nothing. So
And everyone else has given up. So at least one person.
there's I mean, Williams World Champs is pretty optimistic,
Pretty
really,
out
isn't
there.
it?
They made it to testing from day one, which is lovely.
But the rest of them are a little bit like the whole Mercedes dominance again. Mercedes already won.
It
Skip
is
to
funny
2021.
that if Ferrari had won testing, finished fastest, we'd all be like, well, Mercedes is still probably quicker. Mercedes are fastest, and we're like, season's over.
Yeah, Ferrari are slow.
It's done.
And we were saying, you know, they've learned from their previous mistakes of being fastest in testing from the last 5 years or whatever, and not won one world championship. So maybe there's a little bit of just they changed their testing. I said to you before we went live, if I heard the word sandbagging, we'd cut it off.
Well, but I think, as you've said, this is serious talk. I'm not going to use that word. Don't worry.
Good.
You're safe.
Any other bags? And honestly, peas. Put anything in a bag,
Bag
just
of
not
peas.
sand. Yeah.
Handbags.
Whatever
Whatever
you
you
your
want.
hand in the bag.
Yeah, I
in
was
the
like,
bag.
what?
A glove, a bag for your hand. I think Mattia Bonotto did come out saying, look, we kind of made a bit of a tit of ourselves last year by coming out of the block so quick and then falling on our faces pretty early on into the season. So I think they've just been a bit more cautious, and all the teams, none of the teams want to show what they've got in testing. Like, they don't want to show their full potential because they need to keep that kind of under lock, under wraps. And Australia is never a good indicator anyway of where everybody else is sat in terms of the pecking order. So everyone's just going to keep their cards a little closer to their chest.
And what I see a lot of messages, and I receive quite a few as well, saying, you know, why do teams hide their pace? What's the point? Australia's 2-3 weeks away. Why would they hide it?
The thing is, they all run different programs at different times. They're all doing their own thing. So it's so hard to, you know, make sense of it because, you know, Ferrari might be fastest in a session, but they might be doing qualifying while Mercedes are doing race runs and vice versa. So,
because, you know, they don't really want to show their hands just purely because, fair enough, people are like, it's only 2 weeks to the first race, but if they can hold an advantage, they're going to for 1 second, let alone 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever. They don't want to show their hand. And also the fact is they don't need to show their hand in order to work out a calculation of exactly how quick they are as well, because they know the fuel loads, they know everything to do with their car and the performance, that they can work out an optimal even time that they can do. So for them, it makes no sense to make a headline time.
Well, there's talk of the next subject that we'll be going into, but that they should have essentially saved it till Australia so people essentially didn't know about it and was caught by surprise.
But I think there were rumours as well that they wanted to just kind of like show it to make the other teams panic.
Yeah.
And I mean, no one's going to have enough time to invest, you know, any money into a similar system.
What are we talking about?
Yeah,
Jess?
let's go to a three-word test review.
Okay, my 3-word test review is was ist das?
Can now explain to people that don't get what that means.
What is das?
In
so
German,
was ist das? But that also means what is this in
What
German?
is this?
Which is what
is
every other team is saying. after.
What was that?
Are you all right?
Was that your phone,
Definitely
Jess?
not my mobile phone hitting the deck. That's probably crashed and smashed, and I'll be sad.
That's
But
all right.
I'll
Another
check
one.
afterwards.
Let's not talk about phones getting cracked and smashed, don't Tommy? Not like you smashed mine. Anyway, Jess.
So I mean, Tommy can eat his words from the last podcast, really, can't you?
Ooh.
Because you,
that's
you
fair,
did say that. Oh, in this day and age, we don't get any technical innovations in testing anymore, whereas we used to see some fab stuff coming out in
meanwhile,
testing.
Mercedes literally pulling their steering wheel off.
It blew everyone's minds, really, didn't it? It was quite funny and they were, certain people involved in the broadcast were kind of bigging up the fact that had testing not been televised, people wouldn't have even known about DAS, which actually you could argue is correct because we had onboard footage and they kind of slyly showed Hamilton pulling his steering wheel towards him and then pushing it away from himself, and everyone was like, hang on, whoa.
Yeah.
Like, what is he doing? I think you say when you first saw it you thought that Bottas had just pulled his steering wheel off his column or something.
I did not say that.
Okay, someone said it. I'll take it back if it wasn't you.
that,
Someone said to me that at first they just thought it was them pulling it off the column, but which would have been terrifying.
Yes.
At that
You need a steering
speed.
The
wheel
steering
to
wheel's
turn.
loose.
Yeah. So, but it turns out that Mercedes has worked some engineering wizardry and have this new system whereby they can change the toe angle of the suspension.
So wasn't there talk that they were being told when they were on the testing coverage so they could stop using it?
So
or something
someone said, I can't remember who it was exactly that was on commentary at this point, but they had heard that Mercedes had radioed into Hamilton to say stop using DAS because
you're on
TV right now.
Oh, it's just all for show. I'm sorry, I'm not buying that at all. Because what day was it that they showed it? Day one?
Day two.
Two.
Yeah.
Why would they show that on day two? If they're going to test it and then they didn't test it.
Because they want you to.
Exactly.
They want it. It's like a smoke screen for something else that's going
Exactly.
on.
They're showing this and they're going, oh, no, Lewis, don't use it. Everyone's watching. Why would they? Again, that's televised and that got out and everyone knows about it. So Mercedes are playing a game.
I mean,
here.
that's what I love about testing, though. It is all mind games. It's like, oh, they went really quick, or oh God, they've put in that many laps. Like they must be really reliable, etc. And it's like, oh well, no one really knows.
They went ham with it on social afterwards as well, so they obviously weren't that secretive about it.
No, and they did a what is it? They
the James
made
Allison
informative
saying,
videos, didn't they?
Well, a top line analysis that basically explained why it was legal.
Yeah.
And so just to go into it, just in case you've fallen off the face of the earth and you haven't heard of what the DAS system is.
Was ist das, as you might say.
DAS. It's essentially, so I have the DAS allows Mercedes drivers to adjust the alignment of the front wheels from the cockpit. And so it basically moves the alignment of the wheels from toe out to parallel. So basically, ordinarily the toe out angle would be it kind of no one can decide actually what the benefit is, can they? There's kind of all these theories where some people think it's that they can keep the heat in the tyres.
Yeah.
Some people think it's to reduce drag. Some people it's to reduce tyre wear. I think actually the latest result was that it was to watch tyre wear on the inside of the tyres, because obviously if you've got toe out, that's what is that the way around?
Yeah. Toe in. Yeah, without. Sorry. That.
Anyway.
Yeah.
It's to protect the tyres from degradation, but no one really knows, and everyone's kind of been saying that, oh, well, they're really going to use it. Are they going to? Is it just kind of like a fancy little toy that they want to throw people off with?
We will find out, won't we?
There's been current articles that have come out are kind of conflicting actually, because I've seen some news outlets saying that Hamilton and Bottas are unsure if they're going to use it in Australia, and then I've seen another news outlet that said that Bottas has said he doesn't see why they wouldn't use it in Australia. But Australia is a weird track to use it on. Do you not think? It's kind of like a street circuit,
the straight.
There's not many long straights, but they'd use it.
To be fair, the straight after the left-right, where you have that amazing camera angle in the middle sector, that's start the last sector, isn't it?
Depends. Again,
I guess there are other tracks whereby by using that, you could arguably get a greater advantage
like
of using
Monza,
it.
stuff like that. Yeah, for sure. I mean, Pedro _2003 says, will DAS actually give a noticeable advantage to Mercedes? I don't know. None of us are engineers. No one knows.
No one knows.
But it's cool. I love to see that kind of innovation, just because it kind of blew the internet up, and it's you have innovations over the years that maybe aren't so noticeable, but this one you can physically see the driver do it.
About it,
and that's what's so cool to a fan.
100%.
It's a little bit like the F duct thing again, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm just going to do 130R.
It's cool. It's cool that it's visual rather than, it being told later on that they've got this thing that you don't really get to see
inside the car. Or
I guess what Ferrari were doing with their engine, which we'll go into later. Like, do you know what I mean? You don't physically see what's going on, but when they're pulling their steering wheel back and forth and the tires are doing this, that looks cool, doesn't it?
You can see the end result.
I wonder if James Allison was just really bored because they've built the perfect Mercedes or the perfect F1 car, and they're just kind of a bit like, let's have some fun, right? Let's just make this random engineering, because they've clearly had time to develop something like that. They clearly had a lot of time.
They've got the best car anyway.
They were talking to FIA
months ago.
Months and months ago. So maybe the FIA have gone, okay, that's fine, you can use it, but just let everyone know how you're doing it, because you're going to be far ahead come Australia. I don't know. But lots of things happen behind closed doors that we never hear about, and one of those is Ferrari. But we won't get onto that just yet. Tommy, 3-word testing review from you, please.
The pink Mercedes.
Well, actually, to be fair, next year, 2021, we'll probably see Racing Point bring out the DAS, because they're always a year behind.
Yeah.
Well, why the pink Mercedes?
I think it's a very interesting story, and probably just as big as DAS for me in terms of it's changed this whole concept of what Formula One is meant to be, and it's got the tech boffins saying this is absolutely against what Formula One is all about, and the other people saying why not. And for those that don't know, if you've not seen our little graphic that we did of the half and half swipe, the Racing Point is very, very, very similar, especially at the front, to last year's Mercedes. And basically people believe that it's not really in the spirit of F1 when someone like Williams are there making every single individual part themselves, and they're turning up with a replica of last year's championship winner.
But I guess maybe the argument back to that is that Williams don't have to do that.
No.
Like
and
they could change. Yeah. I mean, it's more difficult, isn't it? Because Williams have been so proud of the fact that they are constructors.
Yeah, it's a heritage, right?
In every single respect. Because I think it's probably interesting. People maybe don't know that actually Williams produce every single one of their parts.
20,000, isn't it, or something?
Yeah, and I think they're the only team bar Ferrari to do that. I think everybody else kind of borrows stuff in.
Yeah.
Or like buys it off the shelf, as we would say, whereas Williams construct it all themselves in their factory. So, but
you can see why Williams would be butthurt about it. But we did a Insta poll about it, and it was so split down the middle between fans saying this is the worst thing to happen to Formula One. I saw a lot of tweets that said if they beat McLaren and Renault, the sport is essentially broken because it's against the spirit. And then other people just going, well, why would you not want to just win? It's not illegal.
I guess the point is like we've had the conversation before, and I think it's a debate that goes beyond even just talking about whether it's fair or not, but it's whether F1 should be a spec series, because it's so wildly that the competition is so wildly spread in terms of you have 3 super competitive teams, a midfield, and then usually back runners that just can't they can hardly turn up, let alone, compete. Yeah. That if the big factory teams did supply essentially last year's car that at least would be competitive, because you would say like the W10, if it raced today, would still be competitive, and maybe we'll see that because
it's called an RP20,
yeah, but it's like Racing Point still have to work on that car. Like that car still has to be run by them, but it's just that they've had a bit of a helping hand through their sister team, or their customer, their supplier team. So I don't see what's wrong with that. Otherwise you'd say, well, Mercedes shouldn't supply them with an engine, or do you know what I mean? Like it's
absolutely.
I understand why people are saying it's against the spirit of the sport, because there are so many teams that are trying so hard to build their own cars essentially.
Do it correctly. Or
but what does it mean? Like,
I don't personally I'm on board with you that it is maybe controversial, but the manufacturing side isn't something that I'm hugely invested by. I know people absolutely love it, and that's what makes the sport for them. But for me, I'd much rather watch 20 cars wheel to wheel every single corner as close as possible. And if that means that
20 cars wheel to wheel,
well, you know what I mean.
It's a wide track.
A wide track. But I'd much rather see it a lot closer than go, oh, that's cool. It's like say like DAS meant Mercedes were 5 seconds quicker than the entire field. After 6 races, would we be going, DAS is great for Formula One? We'd be going, no, that's really boring. Mercedes need to stop dominating. So,
I'm exactly the same. I think we're all at agreement that, because where does it end? Because then you go, well, Red Bull and Toro Rosso, you're telling me that they don't help each other with development as
and
well.
Haas and Ferrari.
And, so it's just ridiculous.
Alfa and Ferrari now.
And hey, if it works, if it works, it works. Like I have no problem with it. Obviously, they're not exactly the same. It's not like Racing Point turned up with DAS as well. If it's complete copy and paste, then fine.
Or did they?
Oh my god!
Dun, dun, dun.
Imagine if they start using it in Australia. Then I think the world will erupt and be like, screw you.
I think it's quite scary actually that Mercedes have given Racing Point so much of their infrastructure in terms of their car, because it just means that they have taken leaps and bounds with whatever the hell they've got going on with their car, that they're confident that Racing Point are going to get nowhere near them. So scary times. Anyway, let's move on to another question. Well, actually, Under the Barrier says, will Racing Point win a race?
Unlikely, but I think they'll probably get podium.
No, I think not that we know anything from testing.
There's talk that
Could be anywhere.
Yeah, some people think they could even be ahead of Ferrari, which would be mad.
Including me and my predictions, but we'll get onto that. And Connor Stevens asked, whether it was, fair play. There isn't a rule against copying Mercedes or unsporting, and they shouldn't have done it. It's people are going to be split, as you say. It's 50-50.
Yeah.
It's more about the ethics and morals of the sport rather than flat actual cheating or anything like that. Isn't
Well,
it?
I was watching a video about Racing Point, and I think it was their team principal said, we've had a lot of money now because of Stroll.
Daddy Stroll.
Yeah, Daddy Stroll. Pumping in some money. And they said, this is the last year of regulations. We now have the money to build a new car rather than just evolving our car, which we've been doing for years and years because we've had no money. Why not take a risk and just make the Mercedes and see what happens?
Exactly.
And that's what they've done.
There's no risk there, is there, really?
No. That's what they're saying. They're like, we know all this stuff about their gearbox and whatever from our engine partnership. We might as well. And if it fails, it's 1 year with this car.
Exactly.
It's still their own engineers and things. Like exactly. They're still set up, so they have to get right, and the drivers will drive differently.
Slowly. Well, no, Perez maybe not, but Stroll maybe a little bit slower. Slower. Not slowly.
Or
Diamonds. What is it? Diamonds perform well under pressure, as Stroll says.
Why would you say that? Why would you bring up that quote from Drive to Survive? Anyway, my 3-word race review is F off coronavirus, or piss off coronavirus, whatever you want to go with, whatever expletive, because it's looking very
shaky.
Yes. We may just be talking about a race that isn't even happening.
Yes.
No, the Australian Grand Prix committee has come out and said that it's very confident that the Australian Grand Prix
very
confident. Yes. That's still not. It's definitely going ahead. But
I would be surprised if it
so
doesn't.
would
I can see Bahrain, Vietnam potentially as going.
That's really quite sad, isn't it?
Yeah.
So at Chopster123, before we go into it, says, will coronavirus hit F1 like it has done MotoGP? Because MotoGP has cancelled.
Well, it already has.
It's hit the world, so there's no...
Yeah. It's Thailand?
Thailand, Qatar, which is this weekend, has been cancelled. Only for MotoGP, though. Moto2 and Moto3 are still running, but that's because they've been out
They're
there.
there.
Yeah.
Thailand, round
Completely
2 has been cancelled.
And was Thailand the one that decided just the circuit said no, it's not going to go ahead, or because I know that there was some that the government have stepped in, and others are just like the circuit's like nah, we're not going to host it.
Oh, not sure.
But, that's what I was reading.
I think most of the things are they are geared by the governments and the health authorities of each country. So it's not the case that it's not down to F1 and Liberty to decide if a race is going ahead. They are at the mercy, I guess, if you want to use that word, and that's probably a bit of a hyperbole.
To be fair, that's exactly what I was about to say. So.
Oh, right, yeah. Well, there you go. They're at the mercy of the health organisation, like independent travel ministries in each country that are advising on whether it's safe or not, or whether they are going to impose travel bans on certain countries. The problem that F1 has is that the situation in Italy is seemingly worse than a lot of places, and we have 3 major outlets that are based in Italy, being Ferrari, AlphaTauri and Pirelli. Now if their personnel can't travel, we're going to have a problem, because Ferrari is obviously a massive player in F1 just based on history, fans, and obviously they are a major player in F1 in general. And I don't know if this is true or not, so feel free to come at me with source ? But I have heard, this is unofficial, but I have heard that some promoters have said that they will not race, or they won't host a race if Ferrari aren't there, because the kickback will be that a lot of fans will probably want their money back because they are Ferrari fans, or they want to see a race between Ferrari, Mercedes, and whatever. So it's going to be, I think the Italian situation is going to be where we're going to see the most impact, just because of the 3 core players that are based in Italy.
So be Mercedes
Absolute
racing
madness.
on no tyres.
Well, that's because the problem,
Be a running race.
there's obviously tyres can't infect people, so I think they'll be able to ship tyres. It will be it'll be personnel that's the problem. So,
well, screw you, coronavirus, because we were very much anticipating a hugely contested title fight, which might well be slightly scuppered.
And 22 races, which we're not going to get.
Yeah,
No.
definitely. Well,
We're already down to
China's
21.
definitely not going to happen, is it, at this stage? Very sad indeed. We actually spoke about Ferrari. Let's talk about a different issue with Ferrari, which was around their engine. So at Bahumi Riyadi says, following the settlement between the FIA and Ferrari about Ferrari's engines, do you think it will solve the legality issue or raise more questions? I think it's done more questions than it has.
And
Because it's secretive.
Yeah. Why?
There must be some dodgy dealings
Because
going
the
on.
whole point is that usually there's a technical directive that follows something like this, and then that is announced because it's meant to give the other teams steer on what is and what isn't allowed. But they've not done that this year, this time. So it's very strange.
It is really dodgy. Very dodgy. That's the
you
thing.
can't say anything that is...
And it just fuels conspiracy theories and rumours of what it is. Just say like, oh, we've gone and had a little chat. You don't need to know the details.
That's the thing. Like, the only reason they would say that is if there's something dodgy has happened. I can't think of any other reason.
It's almost like, why did they even need to announce it? Because, we've got a new season on the way. People would just forget about it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's weird.
To be honest, I'd almost forgotten about it. And then when it was rain, I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Which again just shows the power that Ferrari has within Formula One to some degree. So yeah, don't know. More questions. Again, testing. Don't know what's happening there really, and we don't know what Ferrari are doing behind closed doors.
So who was it that said we know nothing?
Right.
Mats van der Schier. You've nailed it. You've absolutely nailed it. We know nothing.
We're fans. You're fans. We're just chatting. You're not here for answers. We don't give you actual answers, do we?
We're just having a chat.
We just bants. It's fine. Right. Next question. At J Thompson 2589. What's all of your opinion on the pecking order?
Mercedes, other cars. Yeah.
Sure. I mean, I'm sure you've already written down yours. So why don't you hit us first, Tommy?
Do you want me to? Okay. The constructors for the
Why
2020.
Are you looking down?
Right. Yeah. The constructors for 2020.
Yeah.
Mercedes, Red Bull, Ferrari, Racing Point, Renault, McLaren, AlphaTauri.
So you think Renault will beat McLaren?
I disagree.
Okay. Well, we'll go into it. AlphaTauri, Alfa Romeo, Haas, Williams.
Interesting.
Go on then. Hit me with yours.
Well, I haven't written it down, but basically that, but just switch to the McLaren and the Renault.
Okay.
No, I think McLaren will still finish best of the rest.
So McLaren ahead.
So I think.
Why did you say no? That's exactly what. So yeah, just switch the two Renault McLaren.
No, because
you think they're going ahead of Racing Point?
Yeah,
as well?
I think they'll finish ahead of Racing Point.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, best of the rest.
Okay.
Fourth.
Interesting.
I think McLaren will finish fourth, and then I think it'll be Racing Point, then Renault. I don't think Renault to me just, unless they are hiding stuff, just didn't look as competitive. They are.
Are you getting something from testing there, Jess?
No, I'm just.
We know nothing.
How else am I meant to?
We know nothing.
Based on
your opinion. No, it's fine.
My opinion.
Yeah.
Okay.
My feeling.
Okay, so constructors we've talked about. Now let's talk about Australia. We were getting into that, and I want intervals.
Oh no!
How far is Williams off the pace? Give me a number. Just guess. Go.
I think that George Russell would be pretty close to Grosjean and Magnussen.
Give me a number.
A number?
Yeah.
Why do I have to? Why do I have
to?
to predict the season?
I
Okay.
just want
Because you are the
Williams,
oracle, Tommy.
Williams
You are the
will
founder.
be 0.3 off Haas.
Okay.
0.3 off.
And how far off Mercedes?
Oh, that's quite.
How far
that's
off Mercedes? Oh, God.
An hour.
2 seconds.
2 seconds. Jess, give me yours. Just guess.
I don't know.
Just guess.
See, it's difficult,
Just
isn't
guess.
it? Just to
have a big bounce.
pluck a...
I think
It'll be
Mercedes,
better than
I think
last year.
Mercedes will be on pole by 0.8 in Australia.
0.8. Okay.
Yeah, and I think Williams will be 2.5 seconds off the pace.
What
What's yours?
was qualifying last?
2.5 seconds off the pace. What were they? What were they last season?
Yeah.
5 days. They were 2 days late to testing.
Oh.
To be fair.
Oh, boy, they were slow last year.
Slow boys, huh?
4 seconds. Oh, that was Q-bits, to be fair.
Wow, savage. What was
2.5 seconds.
last year? 2.5.
was
Okay.
That's why when you said that, I was like, I'm sure that's what they were last year.
2 seconds this year.
You,
2
so you,
And Haas will be...
you think they made a
Haas will
half
be-
a second improvement?
Yeah.
You
And
have to think about that then.
no, just I was looking at Haas going, God, they did well last year at the start.
They always do well
And
at
then they
qualify
finished
Australia.
9th.
Yeah. No, okay, Haas will qualify 3rd and then finish behind Williams.
Qualify
No, I'm joking.
3rd. Okay, right, let's move on. This is getting out of hand. It's I bet you're not ready.
I will
bet
be.
you're not ready. Let's just stall. I know everybody knows exactly what's being loaded right
Just
now.
go on.
There's
It's your favourite thing ever. I mean,
just-
it wouldn't be
Okay.
a WTF1 podcast.
We
if-
even joked that
you wouldn't be.
we
ready.
would do this and I wouldn't be ready. And
Yeah,
I
and you weren't
suggested ABCDF1.
I love how you
Now
take.
it's time for ABCDF1.
But it's for liveries.
Yeah.
I love how you had to take that from Google Mail as well.
Yeah, I just searched for it because I remember him sending it me.
Oh, perfect.
You'd think
Right.
by now we just have it like there as a sound
Nah,
effect.
don't be
but
silly.
nah.
That's part of the show.
Let's
isn't
just
it?
open the attachment and play it through the
And then
laptop.
hope it plays.
But that would require all the other files and I have to find it on there anyway. So.
Oh, my
Yeah,
files.
all your memes.
How dare I make content.
Love memes. Right, okay, let's go into ABCDF1 for liveries.
Okay.
So, yeah, obviously we're going to be grading them in letters. Mercedes.
C.
Oh, get out my head.
Oh. What are you going for?
C, okay.
C.
I
That's
don't.
fine.
Shall I say
was on
why?
that.
Can
I
we-
don't like the flat Patronus green.
No, I liked it.
Or blue,
Last
is it
year
Patronus
was
blue?
a lot
You
nicer.
two are proper snobby livery, like.
Yeah, well,
wait
yeah.
till we
you
get
talk about
onto
the
that Ferrari
fonts,
font.
Yeah, fonts. And they're like, oh, silver. Yeah, it's nice. Yeah.
Can we get a Can you load up a picture of all the cars?
Can I?
Yeah.
What are you doing then?
Okay, I'll do it now.
How are you going to do
I was going to
that?
say, where can I get a picture of all the cars?
F1 2020 grid cars.
You know what I noticed as well? You can't just get testing results like as a list anywhere.
Images.
I was just trying to like be like, oh, I wonder how.
Oh my god.
Tommy's
Esteban-
just loaded
all
up
right.
the Formula One.
Just in case this changes, but I'm screenshotting it. It's
Yeah.
going to go on there.
We just loaded up the Formula One website and clicked on the drivers, and Esteban Ocon is just a floating head with no body.
Oh,
He's got his. He's clearly a Mercedes
That actually
overalls
reminds
or
me of-
last year's
Racing
point,
point.
and they've just made it.
That
They've just
reminds
badly
me of.
photoshopped.
They've just forgotten to put his F1,
Drive to
his
Survive.
Renault.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
like Drive to Survive Gasly and Albon, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right there. Hulkenberg was probably the
We
body
need to
behind
We're
it.
gonna
we need to remove
that
this asset
subject.
or
No,
whatever it is.
subject.
Subject. That was it. Yeah.
Subject.
God.
Oh my god.
Anyway,
that's savage.
We're
here
getting
we go.
sidetracked.
Yeah, sorry.
Get the grid up. Mercedes, we've given a C. Ferrari.
Bad
C.
font.
B.
C. It was better last year. It was a B last year, but that font, no. And also they've got
C.
yeah, just made it worse basically, just ever so slightly worse.
I don't like the red either. They've changed the. I know that sounds really stupid to say, but
Don't like the red.
they have changed the red tone.
They always change it like a tiny bit each time, don't they? But
I preferred it last year.
Preferred last year.
Last year, I thought they absolutely nailed it. I loved that Ferrari car.
and yet Tommy still only gave it a B last year. Shocking.
Did I?
You literally just said they were B last year.
I like the fact
Yeah, it
there's
was a
more
B last
red
year.
on the front,
Yeah,
but that's about it.
Oh,
it's just like
B,
that font
just
just
ripped
no.
off. Okay, Red Bull. Let me guess. A. Oh, I love the Red Bull.
The
It
Red
doesn't
Bull
change
is
every single
awesome.
year. I'm giving that a B just because it doesn't change.
Yeah, that's fine.
B is fine.
I'll agree with
Okay.
it. It's awesome, but yeah, B.
Okay, McLaren. I actually
I think a B.
quite like it.
I was going to give it an A.
I quite like it.
I think, and
I think it's
Oh,
saucy.
maybe I'll go for an A. I'd agree with an A if
I
you
think
go
it's
for
saucy.
Yeah.
A.
I like it. I prefer
Two-
last
2v1.
year's, but it is damn
Go on,
good.
give it a B.
Are you giving it a-
no,
No, I'm giving it an A, but I just wanted to
Oh.
say B just when no, it doesn't matter. Overruled.
B.
Overruled.
Oh,
So that's A for McLaren. Renault.
We don't know yet.
we
Oh,
do.
well,
It's the same.
Well,
Is
I
it the
very
same?
much.
Yeah, it's the same.
Is it?
Yeah, yeah.
If it was a
Oh.
black one,
The black
Do you
one.
like the black
liked
one?
it.
So the
I
black
quite
one
like the black
is,
one.
It does look cool. Wow, here we go.
That's on the thumbnail.
Yeah. It was
Let's rate the testing livery because that was the one we saw.
A.
Yeah,
It's just cool, isn't
A.
it?
It's very cool.
Yeah, A. I'd give it
It
an
Very
is
cool.
funny that everyone's really critical over liveries. I'm not going to pretend I'm not. But
Oh, the font is
yeah.
terrible.
And then
Times New Roman.
and then Renault released just an all black car, and everyone's like, "That's the best thing I've ever
Yeah,
seen."
but it had hints of yellow. It's just
It's
And it
beautiful.
had matte and gloss.
gloss. Yeah, it's basically it's last year's
Por qué
livery.
no los dos?
Yeah.
You've seen that meme? Why not have both?
Why not have both? Oh, what's up with my
what
voice?
the hell? Why not have both? Why not have both? Give me both.
That's a thigh rubbing
Jeez.
voice if I've ever heard
I
one.
have a bit of a cough.
Shivers.
You got
Oh
coronavirus.
dear.
I had it a minute ago. Now you're the one.
Oh my
Oh,
god, it's
no.
spreading. Do not give it to me.
I bless you. Right, Alpha Tauri.
A star, and I'm not having anyone tell me it's any different.
I think it was A star in the renders, A in real life.
I'd give it an A. It's a bit overrated, but I do like it. I do really like it, but some angles it does look just plain white
Yeah.
from the front. The
Yeah,
top
yeah.
view
on the
is
TV
beaut,
angles. Yeah.
and the red Honda logo. Oh boy, that red Honda logo is beaut.
Okay, so
It seriously does things to me. I love that livery so much. When I saw it, I was
No,
so glad.
That's
so-
the thumbnail.
it does things to me.
It does. It's just brilliant.
is
It's
brilliant.
It's a
classic,
very good-looking
but it's
car.
modern. Like that blue, I can't get it out of my head. It's such a cool blue.
It's cool.
Like it's just like
It was like,
yes.
yeah, okay,
It's
it's,
cool.
all right. Yeah,
It's
it's
cool.
all
I'm just
right.
getting overly excited
And
by it. Yeah, okay.
I do really like
Yeah, I
it.
think,
I
as I
love
say,
that
A star in the renders,
livery.
but I think in real life and seeing on the camera is A.
A.
Okay.
What did we
Okay,
give
A,
Renault? A.
Renault we gave A
A.
for the testing livery.
Yeah, and A.
A, I get- yeah,
I
it's
do
a sexy
love,
livery,
It's
yeah.
so good.
Racing Point.
See,
Yeah, it's getting a bit just meh.
I
don't
prefer
mind-
it to the race Sport Pisa one.
No, I see. I like the blue. I
Sport
like.
Pace
I
Race
like.
Formula One team.
I like the fact because the Sport Pacer brought in that blue. I don't. Maybe I'm just. I love blue because I love the McLaren blue too. I just like blue.
It's
You're wearing
really-
blue.
Yeah. Wow, you're so amazed by that. This is like
I never thought blue was my favorite color, but maybe it is.
maybe it is.
Here it is.
It's a bit like nerdy, but I'm going to say it. Anyway.
Oh, Tom,
Um,
give it to me.
We're saying that big oversized logos work now because of the way the side pods are on a Formula One car, because they used to be like doink, doink, doink. So you couldn't put a massive logo, but now because they're like
A bit more curved.
curvy,
Yeah,
you
curvy.
can have a
Voluptuous.
massive logo that fills the whole thing. A bit like Alpha Tauri
Yeah.
did the same
Tauri.
thing with their big logo.
Yeah.
It's the
Although
year of big logos.
I just thought it felt a little bit more clumsy to me this year.
It looks a bit F2.
Yeah.
Bit
So we're
basic.
giving a C.
C.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alfa Romeo.
I love
A.
the Alpha. I love it.
A.
Yeah. And they've made it a little bit nicer with the kind of the way the red and the white blends
Just
with
blend.
the
It's a nice blend, isn't it?
like glitchy pattern. Yeah.
A. Even?
Yeah.
Maybe A star.
Nah, A.
Jess, you haven't said it.
I was going to say B.
Oh, Jesus.
but
Okay,
I've
we'll take
been
an A
out-
then.
I've been outvoted, so we'll go with A.
Haas.
B.
I really liked it when it
Yeah.
first came out. I was like, nice.
I think it just
like
looks
Just
better than-
smart.
back
It
to
looks
you.
a smart, modern.
It looks better
race
than the
car.
turd it was last year.
Yeah.
I mean, to be
Because-
fair,
Why are
I-
you calling it a
energy.
turd, Matty?
because it looked rubbish.
Okay. For what reason?
Because it had brown on it.
Brown.
Yeah, it was like
Yeah,
a really
the-
shit gold, wasn't it?
Black and
Oh,
gold
okay.
is
Well, it was-
not a good.
The render
look.
looks nice.
It
but
was like a
then-
goldy bronzy colour, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it was pale.
Yeah.
It was pale.
It doesn't work anymore. It's when Lotus had it, they actually changed it to black and beige. Do you remember that?
They did, yeah.
Yeah, because it's black and
Yeah.
beige, because it just doesn't
Oh, yeah,
work. Like
Gold
black and
just
gold
doesn't-
just does not look good on TV.
So we're going to give that a B then.
B.
I think
Yeah,
because after
smarter.
Yeah.
after Alpha Tauri and Alfa Romeo came out, it just made it look a bit plain.
Mm.
Like it looks a bit plain because the other ones are obviously white and
Plain.
plain. Yeah. Anyway, carry on.
Yeah, B. And Williams. No, I'd C.
It's tough.
C. I don't like it really.
I
don't-
hated it when it first got released. I really didn't like it because I thought the blue was really clumsy. Like it didn't feel like it fit the rest of the rocket red and black.
Yeah.
But then when I saw, I just didn't like the renders. Then when I saw it in IRL, it looks so like classic 90s F1 car, and I really
It does
like
look
it
a
for
bit
that.
90s.
I like that. I
You're
like
I'm
trying
a
to appeal
bit-
to Tommy here as well there with that classic.
Why do you think I looked at?
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
come on,
Classic.
come on, Tommy. Get on my level.
The thing that annoys me about the Williams livery is the branding of everything. They've kind of like, it's a mismatch of stuff. A bit like you're saying with the livery, that they've gone
clumsy.
like, oh, we've made this red and white livery for Rocket,
Now
and then
stick
gone, oh wait, but we're blue, and no one really liked the red Williams, so we should probably put a bit of blue on it, and done it. And then their like team truck is light blue, and their overalls are light blue with white and black, and it's like, just
Who are you?
match.
See, again, like with their racing overalls, like I love the AlphaTauri ones. Have I said that I like the AlphaTauri?
I really can't quite
But
work
In
out.
fact,
the Williams one just doesn't work for me at all, even though they're both like white with blue detailing.
it's the AlphaTauri picture, which is a star-worthy picture, is the top-down view with the mechanics because it looks proper.
Sorry, I just realised I had my Dennis badge on, and I was like, that's
Yeah.
really
I had
sad.
no idea what you just took off there.
Yeah,
Right,
what?
carry on.
For audio listeners, it was a
A lanyard. I
lanyard.
took off my lanyard.
Calm
alright?
down, everybody. Right, Williams, are we just going to give
Sorry,
it a
what were
rating?
we saying?
Let's just
You
give
were
it a
saying
rating.
something.
Just that AlphaTauri looked amazing from that
How are you
top-down
back to
view, and
AlphaTauri?
the pit crew looked like
Yeah.
stormtroopers.
This is
with the white
Williams.
and- Williams.
God, the poor guy.
B
Do
or
you think
C?
because Frank Williams said that he would never race in red again? Do you think that's why they've added the blue?
Maybe, but it's still red, isn't it?
But
there's
it's
still
got
red at the
blue, so it's not all red.
It's just, yeah, okay. I'll allow a B if you guys want to go for a B.
Okay.
B minus. We don't do that, do we?
Yeah, take that back immediately. Predictions for Australia,
Oh wow, we're already looking at Australia.
if it goes ahead.
If it is ahead.
Jess,
Bottas will win the race,
and
and everyone will talk about Bottas 3.0 again and say it's going to win the championship. And
so your
it's gonna
your
win the
one prediction is relying on the other one to essentially work,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Okay, fair. All of your eggs in
Combo.
Bottas's basket after
Yeah.
having one
Wow.
picture with him. Phew.
I know,
How
right?
things change,
we're
eh?
pals now.
Oh no,
Fangirl.
that gap in the picture doesn't. That's,
No,
that
that was
tells
because
coronavirus. Yeah.
everyone's like the guys came in. Well,
Nah.
the compares, whatever
Not
they're
having
called,
it.
came in and were like, "Do not touch the drivers."
That was the bashing space, just right there. Just I know what you
I mean,
said.
that sounds weird. Please stop.
The Bottas bashing space.
Stop.
Yeah. They weren't touching. It's fine.
We were not touching. Actually, no, he touched me. He put his hand on my back.
Anyway, Tommy. This is getting well out of hand. Tommy, stop swigging. You need to start talking.
Bottas touched Jess. Right. What was that?
What was what?
Something started playing.
Something started playing.
That's you. 100% you.
That was not. What?
Just mute it. Whatever it is.
What is
stop. Anyway, carry on. Tommy.
Ocon beats Ricciardo in the race.
Beats up Ricardo.
thinking
Ocon beats
something completely
Ricciardo in the race.
Yeah.
And Albon outqualified both Ferraris.
Ooh, that's a big ask.
Big.
So, but is
we're
Max
relying.
going to outqualify Albon?
Oh, that goes without saying.
So Ferrari going to be way down the pecking order.
Country 5th and 6th, or even worse, Matthew.
Thank you so much, Tommy, for that great segue to my two predictions. Racing Point on the podium.
I mean,
It will require a little bit of a ding-dong into turn one. I'm not saying they will be on pace, but I think they'll be quicker than Ferrari, who will be fourth fastest. Now, how I've done this is that I've done two predictions which both hurt my brain, but if they come true, I get 2 points. If they don't come true, Ferrari are most likely to be quicker than that. So it's a win-win.
Or they're 5th.
Yeah. Oh, God. Don't, I will die. And the fans, 3 predictions. Ads online. A Mercedes will have a mechanical failure in the race.
ooh, is that so? That's based on the
yeah.
fact that they had a bit of
The conk
mechanical and like
They
unreliability.
go for DAS and pull their own steering wheel off. And
Yeah.
go, oh,
Yeah, because Hamilton conked out because of his...
and
engine.
Williams, of which they are engine supplier, also conked out. I think
Conked is a
didn't they
great word.
use
Conked
used
is-
three power units Mercedes during the testing.
yikes.
Good yikes, though. Hope for everybody else. Racing Point to win. Nathan09786. Williams will score points with Russell.
Bold.
Well,
They're
it's going to rain
hoping
in
for
Australia
chaos,
then, isn't it? Yeah.
Hoping for chaos.
And finally, this person was also featured earlier, Barumradi. Teammates taking out each other in the race. No specific team. That sounds like a Jess prediction if I've ever seen it.
I knew that. I knew you were going to say it
The
as well.
fans
That's
are
why it's
learning.
so
The
funny.
fans are learning. The point is to not be too specific. I have been very specific in my.
Fair.
You've been very specific. Right, let's quickly talk about the WTF1 Fantasy League that we have just launched as well. Is that correct, Tommy?
we predicted. We went for the same team. Can't believe that.
Yeah, I'd done my team and then looked over to you and saw your team and was like, is that you looking? No, Tommy, is that your team?
Because
Yes.
I thought you were basically taking the piss out of my team that I'd gone for Stroll and Grosjean. And you were like, no, look at my team. And I was like, what?
It was literally
driver for driver. Oh, get out my...
This is getting weird now.
I don't like it.
I don't like it. And Mercedes as the constructors.
This is really weird.
Anyway,
I'm just going to leave you two to
if you
it.
guys want to join, if you guys want to join the Fantasy League, there'll be a link in the description. A link, not a link. Well, there'll be a link and also our code, which is 4016ED7594. If you ever want to join it,
Easy,
but
easy
also,
to remember that one, isn't
yeah,
it?
but just in case for some reason, audio maybe. I don't know. Cool.
That's 4016.
ED7594. Right. I think it's breaking news time now.
Oh, here we go.
No, here we go. Let me just make sure we. Yep, no, we've got enough time on the camera. Right, Jess, the floor is yours.
Ooh. I don't really know what to say. I'm going to get emotional.
It's fine. We all.
It's all right. We'll make it.
We'll all
worse in
get
a
through
second.
this together as a team.
I'm already crying. This is my last podcast because I am leaving WTF1. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say.
Okay. Well, whilst you get your thoughts together, we're going to be overlaying a video for video viewers. If you're
What?
listening on audio, then you also need to go over to YouTube because we're playing
watch
a
this.
little tribute video. Are
To
you
make
playing
you-
it? Or am
No,
I playing?
you
I'm playing.
go
Okay,
play.
here we
Oh
go.
no, I don't even want to watch
Yeah.
this.
You're watching it.
We're going to zoom in on you.
Okay.
Okay,
as you
no,
watch it.
do not. I'm Jess.
If you didn't know by now.
I almost choked on Fleming.
Let's start
I
the
wasn't ready.
podcast.
I wasn't ready.
Sorry. Oh, come on.
It was broken.
I don't care.
You try driving around
Okay,
with
to be-
stuff up your bum, and I was like, you
I
can
mean, we
talk
don't
to me
have
after.
clarification of whether the thing was stuck.
Well done, back in.
We were so delirious doing that podcast. The world's quietest yacht. Ah, spooky.
Great.
Where am I, Grosjean?
I liked his spunk. What is wrong with
Oh
me?
my god.
What is actually wrong with me?
Oh, God.
I
I've
meant
never seen
his
you so red.
enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Ferrari.
Oh my god.
He winked at
He
you.
winked at me.
WTF1. No expense paid.
The race week.
And that is it. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye before Tommy dies.
I'm going to kill you. So oh my god. Oh my
Yeah.
god, you guys. I can't even.
So there's the video. I think it goes without saying, Jess, that both myself and Tommy and everyone in the WTF1 team will miss you hugely. You know, you've been an invaluable asset to us, both on the podcast and also in the team. You know, it's very sad indeed. And you're not going for another couple of weeks, but we have to film this podcast. So we're saying goodbye, but we'll be with each other for a couple more weeks.
Yeah.
But Tommy, do you have anything to say to Jess?
Put me on the spot.
Yeah,
but,
sorry.
I mean, you can see how much it means to you, and obviously, it goes without saying that WTF1 is essentially my child, and the fact that you and you know, Matt, like, we've become such a close family, if you like, and I know how much the brand means to you, and that's why it's emotional and difficult. But
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
will stay in touch, of course, and
Yeah, it's
we've
incredibly
had
touching,
some
obviously.
amazing times,
Yeah.
and we will miss you very much.
Yeah. It's been like the craziest journey ever. And I love everything about this brand. I love you guys so much. And the fans, oh my God, you guys are freaking awesome as well. And the amount of support that you give us. Because I think on the surface, this job looks really easy. And it really bloody isn't.
Yeah.
But you got, like, we do this for you guys. And I've just been, like, truly honoured to have even been a part of it. And to get to work with you guys, because you genuinely are the best in business. And as much as, like, I'm excited about what's to come for me, this has genuinely been the most difficult decision I've ever made in my career. So I just want to thank you guys for being awesome, basically. And yeah, I'll I'll probably see you run and jump on you in the paddock or something because that's just what I do. It would be the only way to do it because that's basically what I did when you first came into the company anyway. So
True.
Probably do that. But yeah, thanks so much, guys.
Yeah, well, thank you again,
Yeah,
Jess,
thank you.
for everything. We will miss you dearly, and certainly a hole to feel. Don't know what we're going to do. Feel. I can't even talk. My brain is frazzled. In terms of moving on with the podcast, I guess it would just be me and you, Tommy, and try and find someone to half fill the shoes of Jess. So thank you, Jess, obviously, for those nice words, and I'm sure there'll be a pouring of love in the comments.
In the comments, definitely.
For everything that you've done, because, my God, I don't know how many podcasts we've done now.
It's probably, how
Must
many
be like
do you reckon it
60
is?
odd.
Like, yeah. Well,
Quite a few. I mean, this is season 3, so
yeah.
Yeah.
Hell of a lot. How many hours people have listened to us chat about F1?
listen
Could you
to
ever
me
have
chat
imagined that?
absolute shit and talk about Grosjean's spunk.
And on that note, thank you so much for watching this F1 pre-season podcast. Obviously, we hope everything goes ahead, and sorry if there's any breaking news that's happened in the last week. And that is pretty much it. Again, thank you, Jess. Maybe for the final time, I'm Matt.
I'm Tommy.
And I'm Jess.
And we'll see you very soon for the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.
Holy shit.
Well done.
Well done, Jess.
Let's hug it out.
Why didn't I wear frickin' waterproof mascara? I don't know. I'm definitely going to have to wear it on the 13th. My God.
Group hug. Group hug.
Group hug.
Oh. You're crying on my hand.
Oh, yeah.